those settings are not too specific to company code. Those are created at a client level so that you can see, you can see other accounted determinations as well. You can see all other accounted determinations as well. So at the time of creating the accounted determination, so the moment I enter here, I'm not specifying the company code or chart of depreciation here. It means all these are created at client level. And similarly, the screen layout, you are creating all of them at the client level. But if you see the number range, the execute, you can see you are creating at your company code. And the asset classes, this is also created at a client level. You can see all other asset classes. Okay, so those are called asset client level configurations. Now go into assign GL accounts for assets, select our chart of depreciation, chart of accounts, double click on account determination. So these are ours. The first six are ours. These are the account determinations we have created. Now the properties of assignment of GLs will come here. Now select our account determination for 1000, double click on asset balance sheet accounts. Okay, double click on balance sheet accounts. Now here you can see 140 and 80. How did we get these three? Because these three are considered for real-time posting. Let me go back and show you the same thing. Here, our chart of depreciation is this. Enter. If you see here, 140 and 80 has area post in real time. Because of that, you can see those three. Okay, so going here into assign GL accounts again, chart of accounts, account determination 1000, double click on balance sheet account. Here you can see three things. One is the balance sheet accounts. What are the balance sheet accounts? Both provision for depreciation and the original cost of the asset. Both are asset GLs, so you can see them here in this. And the next is the depreciation. When you run a depreciation, you need to have a depreciation GL account. So you can see over here, let us go and create that one GL account we will create. Okay. So do we have any account group for that? No, for all expenses, we have one group, account group, right? So let us create depreciation. So the depreciations here we have 4 lakh 40. Let me create from 4 lakh 60. So here again, depreciation accounts, you can create one separate depreciation expenses GL for each of the asset class, or you can create one GL for all of them. This is a revenue item. Depreciation is an expenditure which is a revenue item. You can create one, or you can create one for each of these asset classes. Okay, I'm just going into new entries. I will say 4,60,000. I will say here primary cost, and I will say expenses, depreciation on furniture, and control data. If I want to consider taxes, I can consider. Otherwise, I'll keep sort key 00001 and my cost element category going to be one, which is an expenses. Okay, then in the create and bank interest, I would select expenses related. It means cost. Just to save it. Okay, I'm copying it. I will say 4,61,000 for what is the next one we have? Furniture machinery. I will say here machinery, next is computer. And here I will select two. I will say computer. This is again business requirement. You want to have a one separate depreciation GL for each of the asset class, or you want one. Then after computer, building, land, electrical fittings. Building. Okay, the next we have is land. On land, we will not provide any depreciation. Okay, so we have electrical fitting, electrical fittings.
Hey, Nanda, I have one small question for you.
Mhm,
Like, whenever you're creating the GL account FS00, right? I
mhm,
see that on a control data, the cost element is a required entry, right? But some
mhm.
of the GL account, when you want to create, you don't want to use any cost element. So in that case, what you can do?
Here we will have to select non-operating expenses.
Oh, okay. So that will require entry, that will become optional.
Yes,
Oh, right. Okay.
fine. So let's go and maintain the same thing over here. So 1000 furniture, double click on balance sheet. So 01, select one and go to details, or you can double click over here, then balance sheet account for APC, acquisition and production cost. Okay, so ours is 2 lakh for this furniture account. I'm not going to maintain any of these. When we are running the transaction, we will have an error. That time we will come and maintain, so that you will understand what GL we are using for what purpose. Okay, I'm just maintaining because this is required in order to run our asset acquisition. So I'm just maintaining this. And here, see here we have retirement, we have a revaluation, and we can see this is for this is in the case of investment. Of course, we don't use that. Okay, so just I'm maintaining over here. That's it. Double click on the depreciation thing, and here again one accumulated depreciation account for ordinary depreciation. So this is called a provision for depreciation account. And expenses account for ordinary depreciation. This is the depreciation account. Okay, so this is an accumulated depreciation, and here the expenses depreciation account. So accumulated depreciation for furniture is 2 lakh, 2 lakh 500. So select the same thing, and for depreciation we have 4,60,000. 4,60,000. Okay, that's it. This special reserve is a different scenario. In that case, we will be using, I'm not sure, I've never discussed this thing. I never worked on this. We will see. We'll try to do that. We will try to find out that one. Save it. And we have just maintained it for depreciation area 1 only. And in order to maintain for the next, just select next entry. Here you can see 40. Just you need to select, copy it, save it. And the next you have next entry for 80, save it. And we have maintained for all of them, but for balance sheet we have just maintained only for this thing. For 1 we have not maintained, for 40 we have maintained, for 80 we have to maintain. Save. That's it. So we have maintained acquisition value for the asset and provision for depreciation and depreciation, right? Save it, back. Okay, now you see here for 40 it is maintained. 1 second. Yeah, 1000 here, and depreciation here you have for 80, for 40, for 1. Okay, for 1000 we have maintained. And let's see for 2000. Select 2000, double click on balance sheet. 1 we have, double click on 1. Here depreciation area is 1. For machinery we have the next GL to consider. So machinery, for machinery we have 2 lakh 1. Okay, this is for 1. And for 2, for the next one we have to maintain the same thing. And for 80 also we have to maintain the same. Save. Now double click on depreciation, select for 1. And what is the provision for depreciation? Provision for depreciation on machinery is 2,01,500, and for this 4,61,000. Okay, save it. For 1 we have maintained, the next you can maintain over here. 4,61,000. And next for 80. That's it. Okay, so go back to account determination for computer. Then for computer, it's going to be 2,02,000, right? Depreciation. Okay, in the balance sheet, we have just maintained for 1, saving it. So select the same, 2,02,000, save it. And for next 80, 2,02,000. Next for depreciation. So this is going to be 2,02,500 and 4,62,000. Okay, depreciation on machinery. Oh, it's computer, right? So it means it is going to be 4,62,000. Yes. So the next is 40, 4,62,000, 2,02,000. Okay, the next we have for 80, 2,02,000, 4,62,000. Then go back to account determination for 4,000. So that way we will have to maintain the GLs for each of the depreciation areas and for each of the asset classes. I mean accounted determinations basically. Save it. 2,03,000. Next is 2,03,000. And for depreciation area, if you don't have the GL, system will throw up an error. What it is saying? Some error. Account not defined in chart of depreciation. Oh, sorry. Chart of accounts. 4,63,000. Depreciation on building. Us is building. Okay, save it. 2,03,500. 4,63,000. Okay, so building is done. Then go to the land. Land has only the balance sheet account. It means only the acquisition account. So it does not have the depreciation. So just maintain this land. 2,04,000. If the GL is not maintained, system will throw up an error. So I'm not going to select depreciation. Next we have is electrical fittings. So for electrical fittings, this is going to be 2,05,000. So select next, 2,05,000. Next, select next, 2,05,000. Okay, depreciation 2,05,000, right? 2,05,500 and 4,64,000. Okay, so save it. Next is next we have is for 80. Okay, so that's the account determination. So still we will have to maintain the GLs for the others, but we will at the time of posting the entry, we will have an error. We will come back here and maintain the same thing. Okay, just to save it back. So that's about the account determination. Any questions here? Okay, so that's the account determination. The next we have is a technical clearing account. This is a new concept in S4 HANA. Okay, so according to this technical clearing account, there are two parts. One is the operational part, the other one is the valuating part. There are two parts coming into this. So let's discuss this tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow as usually at 7. Any questions
No, Nanda.
from any other from any others? Any questions? Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nanda.
Thank you.